Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Guile here, and welcome back to our Sanctuary series. I'm joined once again by lead developers Nine and Tatsu. Guys, how you doing? And what have you got for us today? What special reveal have you got?
Hey Guile, thanks for having us again. Today we'd like to tell you about one of our most exciting features, stretch goals that we want to put into our game, which is that we're going to freeze the oceans themselves. There'll be weather control machines, you'll be able to capture them, you'll be able to blow them up. Massive gas clouds will come, freezing the oceans, trapping the units, allowing tanks to just drive straight across the ice, and just, you'll be able to blow all that up as well.
Is the idea of weather stations or meteorological stations, which are stations that are NPC elements on the map or on parts of certain maps that you can capture, claim as your own, and then use to swing the tide of battle in your favor by altering the map. So in certain cases, you'll be wanting to reduce the temperature or increase the temperature, or you're, for example, going to have great big pipes that are going across the map that you can bust, and that will release water that increases the level of the water on the map, or release vapor or gas or something like that, which changes the map to be super warm, toxic, to even start melting and spewing lava. And so these drastic changes to the landscape and the map that you're playing on will, in certain cases, be advantages to you because they affect a certain area of the map. Or, for example, somebody has invested heavily into Navy, which is not great when you freeze up the map, or air, which isn't great when you make everything boil. So, or land and which might be gobbled up by lava. So you can swing the tide of battle back in your favor by taking this central control points on the map. Which again, not necessarily all maps, and it's kind of like an idea that we're toying with, but it'll be something that'll be, I think, quite fun to play with if we get to have a campaign for Sanctuary, but also as part of skirmish maps that you can play on. So yeah.
That's just brilliant. That having, because we spoke a little bit last time when you mentioned about the sort of having, major destructible sections of the infrastructure being damaged by super weapons and what have, but having properly dynamic maps that can be sectionally adjusted to assist the strategy or
Yeah,
tactics of a player by conquering certain sections. That's
you can
I don't
change
know
the
any
map
game that's done
a
that
bit.
before.
Yeah, but not infinitely. You don't want to just be able to
Sure.
whip it around in
No,
all
no,
crazy
right. Yeah,
different
yeah.
ways. It's got to be predictable and stuff. So we're not going to freeze parts of the map. We're just going to freeze the whole map. The whole map's frozen or the whole map's not frozen. That kind of thing. If you look at this picture here, you can see all the landmass. You've got some ships in the ocean. Um, what does it look like when it's frozen? All the water turns to ice. It's snap frozen. Now the boats are stuck, and you see the land units that are down on the island. Now they can begin an assault, and what was previously impossible for them, they could just walk straight across it.
It's brilliant, guys. It's actually genius. Because I saw you guys putting up some pictures a while back of
Yeah.
similar looking terrain. You put it out on Twitter as well. Similar
Yeah.
looking terrain, and asking people, which one they like best. Was it the kind of the fiery one, the lavery one, a more desert one, a more temperate one? Everyone would say, well, they all look so great. Why can't you have both? Was that a catalyst, or was that something you were already thinking about and just kind of hinting at with that post?
We were hinting at it. The thing is, we wanted to tease people, and yeah, we already knew what the right answer, quote unquote, was there, and so we wanted to have them, have people say all of them. We want all of them.
There's a really cool part of this picture. You see that ship? There's a ice has been smashed around it. It's
Yeah.
because it's an icebreaker ship. When this ship can just smash the ice in front of it and drive straight through it, which means other ships can come in behind. So maybe like some frigates or smaller ships can like come in, and the ice will refreeze behind him as well.
Yeah, we want to have it so that the larger T3 ships have that ice breaking ability, but the smaller ones don't. So you'll have like a bunch of like ships frozen in place that can't that are effectively dead.
Yeah. And you
and
see how
then-
that changes the pathfinding, right? The way that changes the pathfinding is because the tanks can drive straight across the water, the ice, right? But once the ship goes past, now the tanks can't drive there anymore, right? So, and it's vice versa for the ships because they couldn't go there, but once the icebreaker's there, they can go there. So it's where one unit can like change a lot about a map.
For example, here's one where you warm up the climate quite a bit and it dries out the ocean completely. So Navy, in effect, is incapacitated. And then you have a lot more terrain to play with on the land.
So I guess those ships would still be like firing and stuff. They can't move, but they can still shoot, right? So they could get swarmed by a whole bunch of small tanks, but they'd be shooting back with their battle cannons or whatever.
That is amazing. It's the possibilities are endless.
Yeah. So here's in effect a version where everything's well iced up. You probably it probably sets you back quite a lot. Maybe you have to start back over from your base. All the units that were already constructed have just been frozen over, so it's kind of like a reset to the game. But those that have more base, more infrastructure probably would be put in an advantageous situation in that event. Here's an example where you've taken it to the other extreme where everything's lava now, and so most units could still cross over, like land units could still go over areas that are not molten lava, but effectively would be more advantageous for a player who's invested quite a bit into air.
In the campaign, you could do some really cool things where there's like lava falls or something. You can't get past them because your tanks will die or something. But if you freeze the temperature a bit, it all settles and now you can get past. But it'd be a campaign where you're like manipulating the weather and things are changing as you do it to let you get past. But maybe some of those changes are very bad for you. Like it allows the enemy horde to come at you as well, because they have 100 tanks on the island. They can't get to you right now, but when you hit the freeze button, all of a sudden they can.
Yeah.
So many possibilities opened up by it, and it's so unique. I can't think of any other game that's moved in this kind of direction before.
I think it adds a really good layer to the RTS market. You just got to really be careful with it, not do it too much. It can't be too wild and chaotic. The player really has to be able to like predict what's going on and what's going to happen when they hit that button. So I don't know how we're going to mark the maps and stuff so that they know that.
I mean, it's going to be a balancing issue at the end of the day, how quickly the changes will occur if you do capture an important point, stuff like that.
Well, and what warning there is to the user.
Yeah.
As well as some of the responsibility being on the map maker, who has to make sure not to place a bunch of these. The placement of them has to make sense in terms of the gameplay that it generates for the map, not for it to be a monopoly of control when you capture the point. It's like too hard to take it back. Things like that, right? But yeah.
I mean, it's fascinating, the possibilities, talking from an esports perspective, because it's always seemed you've got that age-old battle in, for instance, SOPCOM, which we all know and love, of map control versus turtling. And it's tempered a bit, of course, by Reclaim, people throwing lots of mass at you. You're able to scoop up those resources, and it's finding that balance. But it would be so refreshing to have other important strategic points on the map to to have players be required essentially, or I mean at a whim, to be able to go out and capture and change the nature of play. It's a bit like you're adding, say, a victory point condition like you would see in Old Company of Heroes or something like that. But that in itself was always quite sterile. It never sort of felt, important. You had to go and capture a point, but you're just accumulating arbitrary points, and that somehow means you win the game. But this has a real strategic significance, and I love it. It's genius.
Because it changes like whether Navy is super important or not. Maybe they've
Yeah.
got like they're winning Navy, right? But if you can
Yeah.
capture that one thing, then you bring the game back because their Navy is stuck. But if they can get, that control point back, then they can bring their Navy back. So all of a sudden the whole battle's like pivoted around this building, right? It does. It gives another reason for the maps to matter. But the other thing we
Yeah.
should say is we don't expect all maps to have this.
Yeah, I was about to say
you
that.
know, technology. There'll be lots of maps that don't have any freezing, no lava and stuff like that. They'll just be static maps, and I anticipate that a lot of people are going to prefer to play that way.
Yeah.
The other thing that we should mention is this is another stretch goal. We don't currently have the funding to build this feature at the moment. We are looking for more investors though, so if anyone's interested in helping us out and actually deliver this, please get in touch with Tatsu because we could really do with an extra hand to take the game that step further and make this idea and some of our other cool ideas a reality. Last time we were talking about how we're going to do the ground shatter thing and have the super weapon that does like earthquakes and like rips entire rents in the ground, and you see the sun underneath, which of course would like thaw a little bit of the ice around that area. So yeah, it's all going to be really cool. The other thing that I really love about the frozen ocean is that the surface layer is frozen, but underneath actually the units can still move, so they can still be like submarines going around or submersible units. And some of the larger ones, like the super massive units, if they're walking on the bottom of the ground, they can walk out and smash all of the ice above them as they come out with the icebreaker effect, and that would let normal units come out as well that were previously stuck that don't have that ability. Another cool application of that is the like massive artillery, like some of the later tech tier artillery shells coming in. Could like the shells are coming down here and smashing the ice apart. And like they're not trying to shoot the ice; they're trying to shoot a tank. But as they're missing this tank, they're just like the poor ice behind it's just getting like erupted.
Yeah, I think that like we mentioned this previously already when we were talking about like how we wanted to have multiple layers of pathfinding and have situations where it's a new kind of situation. The tanks that are on the bridges, for example, shooting onto battleships or something like that. Units that wouldn't necessarily interact in that way under normal circumstances. Well, this increases that likelihood because now you have like the situation where the ocean is iced up and then they can roll on that as well, right? So there's a lot more unit to unit possible interactions overall.
It's
So let's
amazing,
go-
guys. It's fantastic progress.
Should say another caveat: we may not do all of these ideas, but we'll probably like stick to the really, really important ones.
Well,
So here you can see maybe the difference between Frozen 1 and Frozen 2 is that maybe in a deep freeze, all the submarines are frozen and they're dead or
Right.
just stuck.
You're gonna have some kind of temperature gauge, like on the UI or something, just so people
Yeah.
can work out
Yeah.
the threat.
Yeah, so here's one where it's gone toxic, for example. So I guess that the concept with that one was there's a whole bunch of acid and everything up in the air. Units on the ground are still okay, but like every type of jet and everything is taking damage. So air is no longer an option. I don't know. It's kind of spitballing here, but it could be more than just simple changes in temperature, right?
Yeah.
Right. And so these are the ideas of the excuse me, the pipes that are the interactable elements potentially. Like so, there's the weather station, yes, but like potentially there's these pipes which we might make it the whole thing here. But these pipes are visual and interactable elements on the map, and that this is what you would destroy, for example, with your tanks to release whatever it is you want to release, like a whole bunch of water, a whole bunch of toxic fumes, other gas that makes the temperature rise. So yeah, it's that would be it. And then repairing those pipes would, because that would be one of the options that you have as well. You could take one of your builder units and repair the pipe. You could restore the previous setting that you had on the map.
Yeah, and the pipes probably won't look like this. This is all Dyson Sphere infrastructure, massive
Sure.
super project type of stuff. So they're probably going to look somehow like cyber pipes or something. And probably look more like the God faction, because the God built the Dyson Sphere. And yeah, it's going to be something like that.
Well, guys, thank you so much for showing us these images. It's really, really exciting. We're getting a great idea of the progress that's being made and some of the fantastic ideas that you guys have got cooking up behind the scenes. As for the rest of the community, people that like the project and would like it to succeed, have you got any advice to them? What can they do to help you guys?
Absolutely, come join us in the Discord. It's immensely helpful to us because it grows the community. It gives an impression of a good and growing community. And there's a lot of things that you can do there. You can potentially join the team. You can help out with just making different fan artwork. You can make your 3D prints. You can map. We have a map editor. You can join the factions and interact with the different people in the factions. You can help contribute to the lore. We've got a number of ways that you can help, or you can just consume all the media and information that we release on the Discord. And it's the best place to follow us for any updates regarding the Kickstarter, the release dates, all that stuff.
Yeah, we are going to go to Kickstarter in 4 months or so. So, what is going to make this project a success is just having a ton of people following this project. So the single biggest thing anybody can do to help us is just join the Discord, share this video, tell your friends, and let's make this game a reality. Thank you.
Fantastic, guys. Well, looking forward to it. Catch you on the next one. Until next time, guys, this is Guile, Tatsu, and Nine signing out.